Hello class, this is a video tutorial on function sketching with calculus. So first, to make sense of this whole thing, we need to recall the steps taken to sketch all the various functions that we've encountered so far. So usually with all of these, we work with the parent graph and then do all the different transformations of them. But now, using calculus, along with these previous techniques, we will be able to better sketch functions by finding more critical points. So, and critical points, wherever applicable, are the x and y intercepts, stationary points, horizontal and or vertical asymptotes, and points of inflection. Now, I'm going to be covering 5 different examples here, and usually with questions such as these, they will be broken down, as in part 1, find the x-intercept, part 2, find the y-intercept, etc. But for these examples, I'm just going to be tackling all of these points on one page, where normally you will be given individual writing space for each of these critical points whenever they're asked. So let's get to it in the first example. So here we go. We're going to be starting off rather simple. And as you can see, it's just a nice polynomial where the range, or in the domain, sorry, is just every x value. So here we go. With questions such as these, I tend to always find the first and second derivative. So 3x squared minus 3 y double prime equals 6x. Then from here, I like to find the y-intercepts, which I hope we know x equals 0. So that will be y equals 0 cubed minus 3 times 0 gives us 0. So the coordinates of our y-intercept are 0, 0. For the x-intercept, we let y equal 0. So let this expression equal 0. X cubed minus 3x. And we solve this by factoring. X outside of x squared minus 3. Factoring this even further, or you can let each of these equal 0. So you get x outside of x plus root 3, x minus root 3. And so we get our x-intercepts of x equals 0, x equals negative root 3, and x equals positive root 3. And now moving on, to find stationary points, recall that to do this, we let the first derivative equal 0. So we take our first derivative, and we let that equal 0. Solving this, we get, well, you can do this in multiple ways. I'm going to solve this by moving things to one side. I get x squared, so moving the 3, dividing by 3, we get 1. We get x equals plus and minus 1. Then from here, we find the nature of these points. So determining whether they are maximum turning points or minimum turning points. So to do this, we substitute them into our second derivative. I'm going to do this with negative 1 first. And since the second derivative is 6x, we get 6 times negative 1 equaling negative 6. So y double prime of negative 1 is less than 0. This means this is concave down. And therefore, this is a maximum turning point. We do the same for the value of 1. 6 times 1 gets 6. So y double prime of positive 1 is greater than 0. So this gives us a concave up point. And therefore, this is a minimum turning point. So we've already established quite a bit of information here. So now let's find the inflection points or points of inflection. And we do this first by letting our second derivative equal 0. So we get 6x equals 0, x equals 0. But remember, it's not enough that we find this point. We must test to see whether or not there's a change in concavity through this point. So 0 is, we already know, is going to be 0 if we substitute it back into our second derivative. And we're gonna take points above and 1 below. Amazingly, we already know what these two values are. We've just substituted them here into the second derivative. See? So we get -6 and 6. This is concave down, and this is concave up. So we can see that there's a change in concavity through x equals 0. So we can say that that is definitely a point of inflection. And lastly, we get the coordinates of these points, of all the points that don't yet have critical points. So we already know our x-intercepts here. They're going to be 0, 0, negative root 3, 0, positive root 3, 0. We have 0, 0 again here. But it's the stationary points that we need y values for. And that's pretty much what we're looking for. So y of -1, substituting -1 into here, we get -1 cubed minus 3 times -1, giving us +2. Substituting +1, we can just copy this and delete the negative symbols. This gives us, using my calculator, this gets us -2. Now we're going to summarize all of these points. And I'm going to go in increasing x value order. So we have -√3 and 0. That is the smallest x value that we have here. That's a critical point, sorry. That is an x-intercept. The next point that we have is our, well, if we explore, we get -1. I believe that's our next point. Yes, -1. And 2. That is a maximum turning point. Our next one is going to be 0, 0. And now take a close look. 0, 0 is that's an x-intercept. It's not a stationary point. It is just a point of inflection. So that is a point of inflection. And it's also an x-intercept and a y-intercept as well, but that's not super important. Our next x value, that's the next highest, is +1. I don't see any others here, so 1. And we saw that that had a y value of -2. That's a minimum turning point. And lastly, we had the positive root 3, 0, and that's another x-intercept. And so now that we have these points, we can plot them, well, we can sketch them roughly onto our graph here. So we had negative root 3, which if you check in your calculator, negative root 3 was negative 1.7. So let's just say definitely, well, 0 is here. Let's say 1 is about here. 2 looks to be about here. 1.7 is about here, so that's negative 1. So that is our intercept. So negative root 3, 0. Let's plot our next points. 1, 2. If that's negative 1, positive 2, let's just say is up here. That's 1, 2. It goes back to here, 0, 0. Then we have, sorry, negative 1, 2. Positive 1, 2, somewhere up here. Positive 1, 2. Trying to make sure the sketch is approximately the same. So I'm looking at these distances, making them equal. And lastly, positive root 3 and 0. So I hope you can see what this graph looks like. Using these points, we can see that the graph has to go up to this point here. Let's try that again. Definitely using a pencil for this in your exam papers. Going back down. There we are. And then it'll concave back up like so. And then it'll just continue going down to the left here and then up to the right here. And that is what, this is how you would approach a problem such as this. So I hope that's giving you an insight into this first example. Hope to see you in the next video and each video as we go through all of these examples. Hope to see you then, and best of luck.